I played it.
Good evening, everyone. The regular meeting of September 8th will come to order at 5:51. John, would you please call the roll?
Curry,
Here.
Adel, Anderson, Avedisian,
Here.
Zano,
Here.
Jewel,
Here.
Bush,
Here.
Sai,
Here.
Bella,
Here.
Drake,
Here.
Gale,
Here.
Pardo,
Here.
Gentile,
Here.
Feely, Hoffman, Oheb,
Here.
Holloway, Johnson,
Here.
LaChance,
Here.
Lester, Lewis, Magnan,
Here.
Van Dyke,
Here.
Maniscalco, Payne,
Here.
Patel, Salemi,
Here.
Stuber, Taylor, Carini,
Here.
Torres,
Here.
Wolf,
Here.
Carrier. We have a quorum.
Thank you.
Hey, excuse me, John.
I got you.
Lester's here.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Oh, okay.
Please
Thank
stand
you.
for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is approval of the meeting minutes of August 4th, 2025.
Adoption. Second.
Discussion, changes, additions, revisions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
And approved?
Hi.
Motion carries. Independent Consumer Advocate. Liz, anything tonight?
No, thank you.
All right, nice to see you, thank you.
Public comment, point of order.
Oh, I'm sorry, public comments relative to agenda items. Sorry, Joe, I thought it was Freudian slip.
Wow.
No problem. Good evening, Chairman Curry, Commissioners and staff, CEO Jellison, District Council Stone. Couldn't keep me away. I'm back, and it's great to see all of you despite maybe, we'll see, circumstances. But that being said, I'm here tonight in a different capacity. Joseph Shereko of Harris Beach Mertha on behalf of the town of Portland. I am here this evening along with First Selectman Michael Pelton, as well as Selectman Jim Tripp, and Dave Kosminski, who's used to work at the district, now is with the Town of Portland Sewer and Water Commission. And we wanted to submit comment tonight with respect to agenda item 12, which of course is the upcoming expiration of the 30-year water supply agreement that the town has had in place with the MDC. And I'm sure Mr. First Selectman Pelton and Selectman Tripp, perhaps some others remotely as well, will elaborate. But the general message that we would like to convey is we want to extend the agreement for at least 2 years with 2 one-year options to renew, and really to maintain the status quo under the existing agreement. That's the overall ask that we come here tonight to you to present. And we understand that this is an ongoing dialogue. This will obviously be referred to the Water Bureau and then come back here at the very least. So, you know, we expect there will be comments that we need to respond to and potentially some questions we might need to answer tonight or later on. But without further ado, I will let First Selectman Pelton take it here, from here. Thank you.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Commissioner Curry, CEO Scott Jellison, who we've spoken to a couple of times, member towns and staff. Some of you I recognize from our conference calls, others I do not. And I hope to give a little bit of detail tonight to the situation the town is in right now and where we see it going forward. So I've been told that you could ask questions. I've also been told to keep it short and to the point. I will try to do both of those tonight over the next 5 or so minutes. So part of the history, we are coming up to the 30th year of our contract at the end of January this coming year. It has been something the town has looked at over the years. I know MDC has come to our town several times in terms of what else we could do. We have, as of November of last year, I guess made the final decision. The town voted in a referendum overwhelmingly to go forward and get our own water. We had test well done with the full support of DEEP and others, and it looks like that's where we're going. So that happened in December of last year, 10, 11 months ago. I assumed office in January with that knowledge, and we have gone pretty heavy into that. We've already had our test well results come back, step one. We will continue with that. I've had 3 conversations with Scott and his team since then as well, so I know they've been very interested in following what we're doing. We're doing it for a number of reasons, as you would expect. I'm assuming the member towns understand as well. We're a small town. We handle our own water system and sewer system ourselves, but we've been getting the water from you for the last 30 years. We don't want to change that arrangement. We have at least 2 to 4 years before we can get this up and running. Again, those of you that have been in here for a long time, you understand nothing goes quickly when it comes to water and securing new sources. We're going as fast as we can, but again, the ask, as Joe said, is going to be 2 years for us to get everything done that we need to, and 2 one-year extensions should permits take longer, should things come up, and as always, things will come up. A little more of the history as well. The agreement itself, we're fine with it. I think it was fair to both of us. We have no issues with that. The biggest questions that we really had were going forward and some of the concerns that were raised during the meetings that Scott brought up and others. So I just want to address those really quickly. I know it's in your packet, but I want to address it. So also, if you have any questions for us about that, we can answer it more deeply. So the plan going forward right now for us is to continue the same arrangement. It works for us. We only 10 months ago got the vote from the town to go forward with this, so we're moving as fast as we can. We think it's reasonable to ask for that. It doesn't go, things move slowly, but we are going to try to go as fast as we can with that. We do not intend to end a relationship with MDC once we do secure our well. We'll, I think, need to continue that for a long period of time. We need that tertiary backup as well. I know other towns like Berlin and others that have those connections with you. That's probably the end state that we'd like to be in, but we're not ending our relationship with you. We want to continue. It's been a good 30 years. We anticipate the next 10, 20, 30 years will be just as good. Some of the contacts or some of the suggestions or comments made were with regard to wholesale water metering. The town's been told by some of the board they want to move away from the wholesale delivery of water to non-member towns. This town maintains all of its own water and sewer infrastructure. We think it's still a good deal for MDC. We assume all those costs. We're just simply buying the water, and we don't get any special rates from you. With regards to budgeting, I know Scott has mentioned in the meetings that you need to be able to budget for the next couple of years. I completely understand that. I just went through my first budget hearing with the town this year, my first year in office, and that was quite an ordeal, but I understand you need to plan ahead. If we extend for 2 to 4 years, which we're hoping, that gives you plenty of time to plan and figure out what you're going to do and plan on how you would wean off maybe the level of water that we're getting, but we don't think that will be an issue. Other things that have come up, PFAS was talked about several times. We do not have a PFAS problem. The levels we have are very low, not even close to something that's actionable. The new well we have is clean. We anticipate that our aquifer will continue to do that. We're not concerned. We've reached out to the testing lab that does the testing for EPA for our water, and they are confident as well in the well that we're moving forward with to provide good, clean water to the town. Scott and the board, the board also recommended we commit to additional water. At this point, as the executive of the town, I can't incur additional cost to the town members. We do not need additional water at this current rate. We have our pay-or-use plan right now. We are happy with that. It works for us. I think it works for you as well. I believe you, over the 30 years, have returned the investment that you did for equipment and all the expenses that went into this agreement that we have. But we feel that that's not something that we could do or pass on to my residents.
Can I just interrupt for a minute?
Oh, please.
Just to let you and any of the other folks that are going to be speaking on behalf of your city and this agreement, that we typically give our speakers during the public meeting portion 3 minutes
thank you.
to make their point. So you're almost 6 minutes now, so
Thank you very much.
okay, thank you.
Give me 2 more minutes, I'll be done, I promise you. Someone could start the timer, too.
Is one of these other folks going to give you their 3 minutes? No, I didn't think so.
I got a hot coffee. Will that work? No. The one concern that we had, the biggest, is the staff has suggested at several points that Portland may be shut off for water. Water may not flow to Portland. That I'm concerned about. I don't think that can happen. I wouldn't expect it to happen. And we're just looking for good faith negotiations going forward in order to make this work for you and for us. There's a lot of things going on in Portland right now. For those that have been through town, we have close to $100 million in projects happening. The town is in a growth mode. There will be additional needs on water going forward. I think it'll be good for both of us. Thank you. Is that within the 2 minutes?
Pretty much. And I like your verbiage, good faith negotiations. We'll see how that works out. Thank you.
One last thing, if I could ask, if anyone has any questions in detail, my fellow
We do
selectmen-
not have back and forth take during
Okay, there
public
you go. That's what I didn't
participation.
know. Thank you very much.
All right, Jim Tripp, Board of Selectmen from the town of Portland. I'll be quick because I know we've already run long overall. Just really wanted to follow up with what First Selectman Pelton said, and effectively kind of say that, again, it's been a good relationship for 30 years. And the decision that the town of Portland is engaged in now has not been taken lightly. I think with Scott, we had conversations. There was work done in 2015 where we did some work done using basically a vendor to evaluate our water needs and see what the best path long-term forward would be, as well as we had some conversations in the late teens directly with Scott and members of staff in terms of what we should be looking at doing as we started to plan for our long-term future. So we wanted to have those in good faith because, again, it's been a good relationship. After all of those discussions, this is why we've come to, we basically came to the decision that it was time for us to look at different options. So we just wanted to share a little bit of that history with you, and I will stop it there just because, again, don't want to go too long. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board on agenda items? Hearing none, seeing none. Thank you all for your words. I'll move on now to number 7, report from District Chairman. Due to the overflow of our Water Bureau Committee, sorry, Al, I will bypass that report and move on to the report from the Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And since we have a long agenda, I just have one item. I'm going to ask Rita Kelly to just come up and just talk quickly about, we are submitting our affirmative action plan. So I just wanted her to give us a quick update, and then I'll be done with my agenda.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Rita Kelly, the EEO officer for MDC. And I wanted you to know that the MDC Affirmative Action Plan for 2024-25 was submitted to CHRO on September 3rd. And it will be evaluated by the Commission on Human Rights. We hope to hear something from them in October in regards to whether or not it's an approval or disapproval. We historically have been approved, so I'm thinking that our trend will hold. I think that this year that we made a lot of progress in terms of some areas that they were concerned and interested in. Basically, the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities reviews our program every year, and they look at 3 critical areas. And just so that you have an idea in terms of the nature of the evaluation, I'll go over those 3 critical areas for you. I'll keep it brief. But the first area is workforce development. The commission looks at our program to make sure that we are promoting equity and opportunity. On the positive side, basically in this area, it's very positive. The commission is very pleased in regards to some of the career ladders that we've developed within our workforce that has led to opportunities for both internal employees and people who've come from the outside. Over the past year and a half, we've created positions such as water treatment operator trainee, wastewater treatment operator trainee, assistant conservation ranger, assistant manager of manager positions here in headquarters and out in the field. Also, we've continued to use the professional level trainees. Now, these are very critical in terms of opportunity for people, and it allows people to have a career path and leads to greater, obviously, satisfaction and opportunity within the workplace. The commission was particularly impressed with our Try-A-Trade program, and kudos to HR for developing the program. And as most of you know here, the program is targeted towards high school students, and it brings them in part-time, and it creates a pipeline for people coming into our positions here at the MDC. So the Try-A-Trade program focuses on water and pollution control training, and the good news is that the program has been in place for about 2.5 years. This year, we actually hired 4 people who graduated from high school and actually came into our workforce as water pollution and water operator positions. So that's really quite wonderful. And the commission was so pleased with it, they're recommending it and presenting it as a model for other agencies that they work with as something positive that people can do to really promote and develop their workplace. Now, the other area that the commission looks at is they want to make sure that our positions are competitive and that we do outreach and we do reach out to the communities to make sure that when we do hire for positions, that we do have robust applicant pools and that people know about positions at MDC. They know how to go about getting them. We do recruitment via human resources. Jeff King also assists, and Olga Cordova, and they really are, they go into the community, they go to college fairs, they go to high school fairs to promote MDC jobs. HR also uses online sources such as Indeed and Monster, which really nowadays is the place where you get the bulk of your applicants for positions. So there is a strong effort on the part of MDC to let people know about jobs so that we do grow our applicant pools as well. So the commission looks at that. Also, what the commission looks at is our interview and selection process. Over the course of this review period, we filled 29 positions. So what the commission will do as part of its review, it will look at the 29 positions that we filled in terms of whether or not we followed best practices in regards to recruitment, interview, and selection. I really feel positive about our efforts. So in a nutshell, that is what the review process is all about. And hopefully in October, we'll hear that they did approve our plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Okay.
Thank you, Rita.
With that, I'm complete.
Okay. Report from district.
Thank you, thank you, Mr.
Counsel.
Chairman. Chris Stone, I have 1, 2, at least 5 items on the agenda later, so I'm going to waive my report and use my voice later instead of using it now.
Report on general obligation bond sale.
Hello? Oh, okay. Usually I have to turn it on. The John Perugini, CFO and Director of Finance. What I wanted to show everyone is a brief bond sale presentation slide of what had happened on September 4th, 2025. And bond presentation. First is an overview. I was going to go over these items as the index, calendar, sale, prior to the sale, bond sale, top 3 bidders, and bid results. So the first one is calendar. It's to show you that the finance office has been working on this since June. It's not something that happens over a week or in a matter of couple of days. It's been going on since June 23rd, and that we finally did the sale September 4th. So, next part is we did a general obligation bond sale for around $100 million, and the breakout between water was $60 million, sewer $26 million, and combined $12 million. And as part of this process, we had to go through the rating agencies, and Moody's maintained MDC's rating at AA2 stable, as well as S&P was AA stable. Prior to the bond sale, this issuance was also posted in the Bond Buyer each day under their daily market commentary for a full week. In addition to that, this week's new issue volume for municipal debt was approximately $7.3 billion, which is less than the year-to-date weekly average of issuance, which was 10.6. So this helps MDC on the supply side. Next one is, for this, it was a competitive sale, and we ended up getting a total of 9 bidders for it. And so this shows financial institutions are very interested in MDC's debt and the capital projects that it does, so it helps on the demand side. When we got the 9 bidders, I just wanted to show everyone this is what popped up on the day for who put in offers. And it ranged from 3.83 all the way to 3.95. And those was the listing of it. So off those 9, we took the top 3 and looked at it. We looked at everyone, but we looked more closely at the top 3, with Janney Montgomery, Jefferies, and JP Morgan Securities. And so at the end, MDC selected Janney Montgomery Scott with 3.825%. Janney Montgomery Scott ended up having a lot of pre-sale. There was a big demand for the hedge funds and other mutual funds and other financial institutions they work with, and about half of their bonds were already pre-sold, and that's why they were able to offer us the most competitive rate for it. And so this is a 20-year long-term debt with a level debt service each year, and the closing for this bond sale is September 18th. That's when we'll move the money. So that's what I wanted to share with the board, so that you guys were up to date with what's going on and kept in the loop.
What does it cost us a year for now for that 100 million? What's the end up cost?
I didn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
How much is the cost for us a year
Debt service.
for the 100 million debt service?
For the-
12 million?
I think it was around 7.5 million for this issuance.
Okay. It's 105 million.
Any other questions? John, just one. Based on our ratings, AA and AA2, do you find that the rates offered by the various vendors were higher or lower based on our rating?
For what came in, the expectation a few months earlier was around 4%, and it came in lower. It's indicative of the market at this snapshot in time, and it ended up being comparable to other ones that issued earlier. One the day before, and then another utility was the week prior. And they had a different rating than we did, a higher rating, so they got about 20 basis points lower on interest.
Okay. Could you just briefly explain the process for what we normally would call opening the bids with the old envelope and how it works today?
Sure. Today, it's we go through Standard & Poor's. They have Parity, I believe is the is the platform that they use. And what happens is, since there was so much demand for it, we had 10 interested originally, but only 9 put in. So as we were coming to the 12 o'clock deadline on September 4th, we were looking to see who was interested, and it showed 10 different financial institutions. And as it gets closer to 12, they all have to put in, and then at 12 o'clock, we hit the button to see what everyone presented. And that's how we got those 9 all at once. So they already had it preloaded, and they came up with their amortization schedules based on a couple things that we asked for it. But it all happens instantly at 12 o'clock.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Number 11, Bureau of Public Works, consideration, potential action, encroachment agreement, MLK Apartments LLC, 99 Van Block Avenue, Hartford. Chair recognizes Chairman Hoffman of the Water Bureau for a motion.
Thank you. I'll ask to move this item forward. We discussed it at the last Board of Public Works meeting prior to this meeting, and there was unanimous consent to pass it.
There a second?
Second? Okay.
Discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 12, referral to Water Bureau, Town of Portland Water Agreement.
Move adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, seeing none? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries.
We have a presentation for that.
Oh, you have a presentation?
Yeah.
I didn't see that on my
Sorry,
agenda
I'm
notes.
sorry.
Do we still need the presentation?
I think so, after those
All right.
comments that they're made at
All right.
public, we need to clarify some things.
All right, well, I thought maybe the Water Bureau might be the opportunity for that.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of questions to ask too, but not during a referral process. But go ahead with your presentation.
Just one moment to bring it up. So Dave Banker, Assistant Manager, Technical Services here at MDC. So I'll try to make this as brief as possible. All right, so quick summary, our existing contract with Portland. So it expires this coming January 26th, 2026. Currently, they're required to purchase at least 400,000 gallons per day on average throughout the year. So that's 146 million gallons. And at maximum, they can go up to 1.1 million gallons per day, which is 401.5 million gallons over the year. And they can have a maximum of 2 MGD instantaneously for any day or period. So we've met with them several times for the past, couple of years. We started with Ryan Curley and Ryan O'Halpin in 2024 in February. Met with them 2 times that year. They weren't ready to discuss anything regarding the contract. And then thus far this year, we've met 4 times with them to discuss the current standing of the contract and moving forward. Go to the next slide.
Dave, just real quick, important.
Yep.
If you look at 2.0 million gallons per day, there was comments made that, everybody's been reimbursed. The MDC increased the capacity in 2001, Susan, of the pump station after the agreement was signed, because the town of Portland said we need a maximum capacity of 2 MGD. And MDC upgraded the pump station, and it cost us about $500,000. MDC, and it's probably our own fault, MDC never was reimbursed for that upgrade. So that's one point I want to make, and we've had this conversation over the last number of years, but that's an important point to make moving forward in the agreement. Go ahead. Sorry, Dave.
No problem. Thank you, Scott. So just the new well with Portland, it's near a recreation facility there. There was a test well drilled in 2024 that showed potential 1 to 2 MGD within that area. They went got approval from the town board for money to construct the well. They did that last October through the end of the year. And then they also got the additional funds approved last September for the connections to the piping and such to connect and build the well house connected to their system. Next slide, please. And then there's a quick brief discussion of their existing well so it's located at their public works facility, that vicinity. Under last last year, water utilities were required by the Environmental Protection Agency to do UCMR 5 testing, which was for a laundry list of 20-plus PFAS compounds. So there were two different compounds detected there. One of them was planned for regulation, PFHXA. The concentrations that were reported were below the federal level, which has since been removed anyway. But also, those samples were noted as a combined sample result, so basically a mix of MDC and Portland water. Now, if that was done by accident or if it was a mix, we haven't gotten a direct answer on, but either way, they're tracking it down. So.
But this is really important. Obviously, MDC does not want to lose the town of Portland, but we also want them to make, and all of us, to make an informed decision. This is a really important point because I've had this conversation with the town of Portland and multiple staff there and different administrations. And this is if the PFAS levels in this existing well is higher than what is reported at EPA because it wasn't taken at the well, it was taken with the mixture of MDC water, well then, I've asked this question multiple times. Are you sure? Is the town of Portland and their engineers sure that the levels of PFAS are not going to migrate to the new well over time? And the reason why we ask that is because, one, we're concerned about the water quality in the town of Portland, but more importantly, we've said this to the town, is that when you leave, and whether it's 2 years or 4 years, whatever it is, we're going to give up our excess sale water agreement with DPH, which ends officially at the end of the contract, which is January 26th. And then we also have the diversion permit with DEEP, which will have to end as well. And once you end that diversion permit, you'll never get this diversion permit again. Not because the MDC is not willing or the board is not willing to give you, but if you look at the history from 95 to 2001, as you remember, when MDC tried to provide water to Yukon, the same thing happened where the West Branch, West Branch Farmington Associations, Farmington River Water Association, and others were adamant against the diversion permit. And so that will happen again if this diversion permit goes away. So we like all of us to be clear on what is the PFAS levels in that existing well. Sorry, Dave.
No problem. To the next slide, please. So the existing water sales, so the contract value per year with our current rates is $793,000. That's made up of the consumption portion, which is about $763,000, and then $30,000 in customer service charges. So this is basically the minimum required purchase for them every year. So over to the right is the trend of the past 5 years. So the rate went up within the last year. So previously the contract max was $771 when the water rate was $380 last year. So that's what the difference is with the change in the rate. So they've been taking the minimum take or pay. They actually, the past 2 years, took below the take or pay, and then they still have to pay the difference for the water that they didn't purchase. So the 400,000 gallons per day overall represents about 1.1% of the water consumption that we sell, metered consumption. And then if that 400,000 or when that 400,000 goes away, it represents approximately a 4-cent increase in the water rate that would have to go through to make up that difference in revenue. So thus far, the two proposals that we provided to Portland were two options for a short-term extension. They had asked for a 2-year extension. So we looked at the 2026 and 2027 years. We proposed increasing the take-or-pay from the 400,000 to 600,000 gallons per day for that short-term period with option 1. We kept the maximum 1.1 million gallons per day as it is in the existing contract, and that represented a potential $381,000 increase per year in the cost there, or the revenue for the district, cost for the town. And then that would have then equate to what could provide a 2-cent reduction in the overall water rate if they committed to that. The second option that we proposed was a 2-year extension again, keep it at the 400,000 gallon take or pay, but we reduced from the 1.1 million gallons per day max, and safe yield provided to 700,000 gallons per day. This provides us with more water than that we can potentially sell to other water utilities by taking the safe yield from them that we guarantee right now, and then we could sell it then to Manchester or other, Rocky Hill, not Rocky Hill, Cromwell, or other utilities that we've, had discussions with. And then this wouldn't have a change in the overall, value or cost to the town for the minimum then.
And if I may, this is very consistent. We've presented this issue a number of times at Water Bureau over the last couple of years. These options were presented then as well, and other options, increasing the water rate was an option. But importantly, as our conversation with the town of Portland over 6 meetings, we really did not get clear direction from the town of Portland what they wanted until the August meeting, which was emphatically they wanted to keep it the same for 2 years with two one-year extensions. But our problem is we need to move forward, right? We prior to this contract expiring, the board indicated to staff that these wholesale agreements, and I explained this to the town of Portland, our concern is we're giving safe yield away for free. So, for example, the town of Portland, as Dave said, they average 400,000 gallons a day. So one day they might be taking 800,000, but over the year they average it out to the 400,000, and that's fine. I mean, that's a decision that the town makes, but they have up to 1.1, and we provide this information to the town. And in 2024, the days over 1 MGD was 0. So we're providing this safe yield to a town that isn't using it, and we can't sell it to anybody else. So that's why we said, to be fair, we understand you're leaving. We understand you want to stay on for 2 years and possibly with 4 years. But to be fair to our customers, our 100,000 customers, we need to sell that water to someone else because we're going to lose, as Dave mentioned, we're going to lose revenue, and it's going to increase the water rate to everybody else by 4 cents. So we want to start planning now, and one way is one option, which I'm proposing and would like to propose to the Water Bureau, is the 2-year extension with increasing their use of our water. They're not paying more for it, they're just using more. And then we will allow them to keep, if the board or Water Bureau so it chooses, to keep the 1.1 in place. Or simply stay at 400,000 and lower the safe yield to 0.7, 700,000 gallons a day. And then we can market that water to Manchester or Cromwell or someone else. So we've been trying. We've had 6 meetings, and granted, there was a change in administration, which I understand. But we've been meeting and meeting and meeting, and to no avail. And it's budget season, and that's why I asked to have this on the agenda, because we're planning budget. We got a budget meeting on September 29th, right? And I know, and the chairman of Water was gracious to let us put this on so we could inform everyone and the town could have a chance to speak. But I would like to move quickly to the Water Bureau and give a recommendation to them for option 1. We're happy with option 2, but it's late in the game. And in terms of shutting them off, what I said to the town multiple times is we're getting at the end of the game here. January is right around the corner, and MDC does not want to be put in a position where we have nothing else to do but to make a recommendation to shut the town of Portland off. That's not what we want to do. But we've been trying 6 meetings for 2 years, and we're nowhere. So we need a resolution from the Water Bureau to the board so we can budget. The town needs to plan, and we've been extremely proactive trying to get a resolution for this. Sorry, Dave.
Good. Last slide. So, and then even once an agreement is reached, I mean, it's going to require approvals both of the Town of Portland's board as well as the district's boards and Water Bureau. It's going to require a DPH review, even if it's a short-term agreement, and also another sale of excess water permit to follow the term of that contract as well. And then the question of what happens with the deep diversion permit, the existing one. Do we modify it? Do we close it out? So these are all things that will need to be discussed, even once an agreement's reached.
Does that conclude your report?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Ask for questions. Commissioner Salemi, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me okay?
Barely.
I don't know how to get it up. I don't know how to get the volume up any higher on this.
Talk louder.
Talk louder.
Okay. So, anyway, my question for the Town of Portland people and for the district.
We're not asking questions of the Town of Portland. This is not a give and take negotiation.
All right. So my rhetorical question for
There
myself.
you go.
Okay. Is, what happened to we have these options, but what happened to the option of Portland becoming a member of the MDC? All of these nuclear options here that sort of blow up the agreement that we had from 30 years ago, which I was there when this agreement was created. So, all of those would be taken care of by membership in the MDC. I know we had a study done. The study was done before the PFAS became a major issue. We also had negotiations years ago that I was a part of before the clean water charge became what it was. And, at those points, the town seemed to be leaning towards becoming a member, but obviously there's other options that they'd like to pursue. But I don't think we have a lot of new members of the MDC, a lot of new commissioners since that time. And I don't think any of them are aware that that's a possibility or what the cost might be to the Town of Portland and the MDC. But certainly the issues with DEEP and the issues with the Town of Portland would be taken care of by membership because they become a member just like the other 8-member towns. That's my comment, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Your comment was well received, Commissioner Salemi. Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Drake.
Yeah, two things to comment. They had a vote, so it doesn't make any difference at this point, right? They had a vote, so I don't know what we're talking about. But why does DEEP have such a problem with diversions? To me, who cares?
Honestly,
Technical reason.
well, it's not a technical reason, it's a political reason. DEEP doesn't like diversions because the environmental groups don't like diversions. So DEEP is controlled by the environmental arm of the
It's
state, so
environmental
that's the
issue,
problem.
people just-
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just curious, just look at.
that's the problem.
Okay, no,
Right.
with you, okay,
Water out of the environment.
okay.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Same electric issue.
Next on the agenda is report Windsor Street Hartford Sewer Project.
Oh, yes, wonderful. We got, who's doing? Oh, yes, yeah, all right. CDM is gonna be doing the presentation for us. So, thank you. We're gonna be just doing a quick presentation in part because there is, Chris Stone's gonna be talking about, the litigation associated with, a storm that occurred. This project is just informative to explain what we're doing to solve some of the problems in that part of the North Hartford area on North Main Street. And it's going to be designed, again, as we talked about earlier, it'll be designed up a 10-year storm. It's not going to solve all of the flooding, but it will help. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Scott, and good evening, everyone. My name is Michael McGuire. I'm a design engineer from CDM Smith, and here to talk to you about several projects in the North Hartford area of Windsor Street in Maine that are currently in design and nearing construction. Okay, so first, I'd like to go over the agenda for the presentation, which are going to review the various projects. I'm also going to provide cost and schedule for all the projects in this area of the North End. First up is the Windsor Street Sewer Separation Project. It runs along Windsor Street and the northern portion is Main Street there. The southern limits is Sanford to the bottom, and north is Cleveland Ave. Also, two other projects that the city is undertaking in this area are to the north, the Theodore Napper Lane, Kensington Street and Main Street drain upsizing project, and to the south, there's a project along Sanford Street, which crosses the Hartford-Springfield line, railroad line. And finally, there's a City of Hartford streetscape project that's going to overlap these project limits and provide streetscape to the area of Main Street and the northern portion of Windsor Street. So the first project is the MDC Sewer Separation Project, which is a major project and has been broken into 3 phases. So the first phase of the project is the sewer rehabilitation of the area, which is valued at about $5 million. There's currently about 3,000 linear feet of large diameter brick sewer that needs to be rehabilitated with liner, along with the manhole rehabilitation. We'll also be performing lateral lining to the 40 properties out there. Most of the properties are all commercial and industrial. There's really no residential properties in the project area. Phase 2 will be the water main replacement, which is valued at about $5.5 million. It's about 3,000 linear feet of water main work. So along Main Street, along Windsor Street, there's about 2,000 linear feet of new 12-inch water main going in for a replacement there. And along Main Street, it's 1,000 feet of water main consolidation, where we'll be consolidating water mains and abandoning an existing 6-inch. Next will be the largest portion of the project. It's the sewer separation itself. That's valued at $22.5 million. It's going to require some utility relocation to get this project accomplished. That's kind of why it's valued so high, as well as the 3,000 linear feet of drain installation along Windsor and Main Street. So the drain itself will run north to south, flowing from Main Street down to Sanford Street and connecting to an existing drain on Sanford Street. And you can see it's been designed to the 10-year storm, as Scott said. And on the bottom right, we have a hydraulic profile, which shows that it's meeting the design criteria for the 10-year storm. So there's no street flooding. The water is maintained up at a safe distance below grade, which, standard is about 1 foot below grade for the 10-year storm. So we're satisfying the DOT standards, and also for the project, we'll be installing drain laterals to all the private properties, capping them. And a future project will be the private property separation. That's to be determined. Next up is the City of Hartford drainage improvements. So this will be the upsizing of existing drains on Theodore Napper Lane, Kensington, and Main Street. It's valued at about $3 million. On this slide, the city work is shown in red, and the MDC work is shown in purple. So one thing to note is that the existing drains are undersized, right? So they can't currently meet the 10-year design storm. So the first thing we'll be doing is upsizing approximately about 1,400 linear feet of drain that currently ranges 18 to 21 inch. And we'll be replacing that with drain that's about 24 to 36 inches. Also, to note, if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, it says that there's an existing 7-inch orifice at the intersection of Kensington and Theodore Napper. That was put in because this drain is connected to a combined sewer currently. So MDC required it to restrict the flow to the combined sewer. That orifice causes the drain to back up Theodore Napper Lane and then overflow to the detention pond, which you see at the top of the figure, through 24-inch pipe. It's also important to note that the connection of switching all this drainage over to the new MDC main cannot be made until there are some downstream work, as there's a hydraulic restriction downstream at Sanford Street, which I'll get to in a couple slides.
Before you
Go on.
This slide is really important, right? So the reason why we're talking about this tonight is the MDC Purple is not to solve the Napier Lane flooding with the detention basin. It's only solving the 10-year storm within North Main Street. And the city, in conversations with the MDC for the last 2 years, maybe even 3 years, agreed. They received a grant, $4 million. And we said, listen, partner with the MDC and build a bigger system, which would, their project would encompass Napier Lane and help the flooding that occurred on Napier Lane in that general area with that 7-inch orifice, the restriction of the 7-inch orifice, and the flooding and the retention basin. So our project is to solve our areas, our requirements under the consent order, 10-year storm. The red or the orange, it's orange to me, is to solve the Napier Lane project. But we're working together to solve them. But again, to Commissioner Gale's point, it's only to a 10-year storm. So that retention pond will remain and could do what it's been doing for years. But that's not the intent of this project. Sorry.
No problem. Yep. Okay. So to continue showing on the 10-year model, this is a hydraulic model that shows the connection made of Kensington and Napper over to the new MDC drain without doing the downstream improvements, and it shows that we have street flooding in the vicinity of the intersection of Main Street and Windsor Street, which is not a great area to be flooding, and obviously we can't do that for the 10-year storm. So that brings me to the next project, which is also a City of Hartford project, fixing the downstream connection across the railroad and improving this project so it will work. So again, the purple is MDC, the red or orange is City of Hartford, and so the MDC will be leaving the junction chamber on the left-hand side of the figure, and the City of Hartford will be connecting to that and installing about 700 linear feet of 72-inch pipe across the railroad via pipe jacking methods. And they'll be installing a new junction chamber on the east side, which will connect to the existing Tower Brook conduit, and constructing a junction chamber there. This project's valued at $8 million. Okay, and going back to the detention pond, that detention pond, as Scott said, it will remain in place after this project is complete. The drainage will be designed to a 10-year storm, and the pipe can be tied in once all the downstreams are constructed. The existing orifice that I've previously mentioned that was 7-inch will need to be changed and modified to a 20-inch orifice. And there will be a weir constructed at the detention pond that will limit the inflow, and it will allow anything less than a 10-year to go downstream and anything greater than a 10-year to overtop and enter the detention pond. So now I'll just show you the pictures. So all the way to the left, that's the existing inlet to the detention pond in the drainage system. So the one that the tape measure is going down, that's actually the 24-inch pipe that I was mentioning. That's how this system surcharges and enters that pipe. The middle picture is where the other end of that 24-inch pipe where it discharges into the detention basin. And the third picture all the way to the right is just a picture of the detention basin itself looking north, just showing you the limits and the size. So the final project that's going to occur in this area is the City of Hartford Streetscape project. This project is not really my project, but it needs to be coordinated in conjunction with the other projects. It's valued at $20 million. It's really mostly along Main Street, but runs the northern portion of Windsor Street as well. It's a municipal incentive, kind of a street beautification project that's going to improve aesthetics, functionality by upgrading the street and provide new sidewalks, street lighting, landscaping, tree plantings, and that will be following the work that I previously mentioned. So we just have cost next. So the initial investments, or the investments that are going to be taking place over the next several years, the 3 MDC projects combined will be about $33 million in total. The City of Hartford investments for this area, for their 3 projects, is valued at about $31 million. So a grand total of $64 million will be spent in this area over the next several years.
And I just got to say this, and I'll say it again and again. Our project is only designed to deal with the 10-year storm within the North Main Street. The city project is designed to handle the issues that occurred in Napier Lane. We're not mandated or required to handle that storm because, as we said, we restricted the flow back in 2004 to a 7-inch orifice for reasons that our system couldn't handle that water. We're doing the same thing here, even with the new system that's been expanded. But the MDC project is not being built to address Napier Lane. The city project is. And I'm just going to reference my August 15th letter to Frank Del Ripper, which I think all of you got, and you can read that and talk about the history here. But we are, hopefully, the city's moving forward, we're moving forward, and it's going to be a positive, it's going to be a very positive for the city of Hartford and for the Housing Authority. But again, it's only going to be handling a 10-year storm.
That conclude your presentation?
The only slide I had left was schedule, which kind of just overlies showing the phase 1 is going to start right away, the end of this quarter, start and wrap up early 2026. Phase 2 is going to take all of 2026. Phase 3 is going to go into the beginning of 2028, and City of Hartford is concurrent with Phase 3, where they'll be working on their improvements as well. And the final portion will be the streetscape that'll follow it and wrap up in 2028. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Open the floor to questions. Commissioner Stuber, you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you. Come back to the 10-year storm issue. I know there's been a lot of discussion about it, and perhaps I'm just repeating points that were raised by Commissioner Gale previously. But I would like to know if there's anything that prevents us. I recognize that the 10-year level is a DOT standard, but I would like to know if there's anything that prevents us from building to a more robust level. I recognize the city project underway with Theodore Napier Lane, and that was will be a significant part of the solution from preventing some of the recent flooding there from recurring. But this is a highly problematic area where we've seen a lot of repeated flooding. I think we have to expect that there will be incidents again in the future, and we've seen many storms above the 10-year level just in the last few years. And so I feel that the 10-year storm level is really an outdated, insufficient standard that particularly in the most flood prone areas, we should really be thinking seriously about building above that level. That of course, does mean additional expense, larger pipes and whatnot, but I worry about the total long-term cost to the MDC over the long haul. It's much cheaper to go into the ground once than it is to go in twice, and in future years to alleviate capacity issues. And I think we can reasonably expect to see increased rainfall in the region as the years go by. And I just really think we should be thinking seriously about building to a higher standard. So would like to know if there's anything that prevents us from building to a higher standard, then also if there was any analysis done to assess whether or not the 10-year level would be adequate, particularly for some of the higher rainfall events that the city's already seen and can reasonably expect to see in the future.
If I may. Thank you, Commissioner. This is Scott Jellison. So there's a couple of things. One is money. And we've had this conversation, the recent MOU that was agreed to with the MDC and the City of Hartford, as well as the drainage study. We went through exhaustive efforts on the drainage study, setting the ground rules for what is the design standards. And we agreed with the City of Hartford on the modified, which has been modified, but it's a 10-year storm. It's still a 10-year storm. And here's the important point, and I said this earlier. We're reacting to Napier Lane, and that's a reaction. It's a knee-jerk reaction to a 200-year storm. You cannot design a system to handle what happened on Napier Lane. We're doing everything we can do up to a 10-year storm. But to solve the problem that occurred in Napier Lane and on North Main Street, you would need a tunnel the size of the tunnel we're building for our CSOs. You don't have the tunnel that we're building right now can handle up to a 100-year storm with all of the different outfalls that are going, or the CSOs that are going to it. A 100-year storm, and this was a 200-year storm, 240-year storm. You can't solve it. You don't have the money for it. What we can do is do everything we're doing. We're required by our regulators to design to a 10-year storm. And as I said, it's been modified, which it just moved the goalpost, but it's still considered a design 10-year storm. But you don't have the money for it.
Mr. Chairman, if I might ask a follow-up question.
Please.
So I understand that the building out a system to the worst possible contingency is cost infeasible to a 200-year storm level. But might we consider something like a 20-year storm or a 50-year storm? It isn't all one way or all the other. There are increments along the way that could be considered that could relatively handle more rainfall and would be relatively better even in a severe rainfall event. And so my question again is if there was any kind of analysis done of the need in the area, or are we just building the 10-year standard because that's what the accepted standard is?
Commissioner, as part of those exercises with the MS4 and with the drainage study and the design criteria, CDM actually did analyze a 20 or 25-year storm, and the dollar amount, do you know that? But we did analyze that. Do you remember that number, Jason? Yeah, but we did actually do that exercise, Commissioner, and it was very, very expensive. We can get you those numbers, but remember, it's not just this street; it's every street that you're talking to increase the standard, and the challenge that we have is we are the confusion part of the MDC is we're a sewer company trying to get stormwater out of our system. And we slowly are trying to turn it into a stormwater authority, which we're not. And so
I would strongly disagree with that assertion.
Yeah, I understand that. No, I appreciate that.
Since its inception and in its original founding charter, there was no distinction at the time of the creation of the MDC between a sewer and a stormwater. It's all the same thing. So we are a stormwater authority.
Okay. Well, I would tell you that the regulators disagree with you. Our mandate is to get the stormwater out of our system, not, we're heading in a different direction. Our goal is to get stormwater out, and we're mandated to do and design up to a 10-year storm. If EPA or DEEP told us we had to go to a 20-year storm, we'd obviously have to do that. But the state and the federal government, EPA, they recognize this as well. Unfortunately, the solution to pollution is dilution. And so that's why you don't hear a lot of complaints from the public about large storms, because you don't have, it's out of sight, out of mind. But when you have a small storm, a 1-year storm, and then you have overflows, that's why you see those complaints, because it's obvious that the sewer has overflowed into a basement or into the river. But when you have, hundreds of millions of gallons going into the rivers or the Connecticut River or their tributaries, you don't see it because there's so much water. So that's why the regulators don't mandate, and we couldn't afford it. We just couldn't afford it.
Commissioner Gale.
Yeah, thank you. Just to follow up on Commissioner Stuber's, yes, please, would you provide us with the cost to go to 20-year or 25, whatever numbers you came up with, so we at least can see what the comparison is. And point number 2, I think we understand when you talk about the mandate that the MDC has to deep into the federal government with respect to the stormwater and sewage, and that's fine. But to Commissioner Stuber's point, you also have a mandate to the city of Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
And the mandate to the city of Hartford includes stormwater. And so, we don't say it so much, but it does kind of appear as though a lot of the problems we're facing have to do with some systemic underinvestment over 80 years. I mean, I don't know how long this, I think I've heard 1930s or so, the MDC took over the Hartford combined sewer system. So, it may be that there is some makeup that's necessary to get us to a better place, but I'd just like to see the figures.
Yes, we will do that.
Talk about it. Thank you.
And we did share those numbers with the City of Hartford staff, but we will provide those.
And Scott, I'd like the figures expanded out, not just for one project,
Correct.
but take that
Absolutely.
percentage and
We have
give us
that.
a big picture number.
Yep, we absolutely have that.
The number is citywide.
Yeah, I mean, just remember, that we talk about affordability, right? The Clean Water Project, $2 billion, $3 billion, $4 billion when we're done, and we won't be done because we'll keep spending, money forever. But just think about how that's doubled the water rate. Imagine if we said, okay, we're going to, in addition to that mandate, that regulatory mandate, we're going to also expand the storm system to the point of what? When you have a 25-year storm and it costs you double, triple, but this project, the reason why we're here tonight, the reason why we have an agenda item tonight is because of a 250-year storm, not a 25-year storm. So,
But I think to Commissioner Stuber's point, these things are becoming meaningless because we had a 150-year storm, a 100-year storm, and a 240-year storm all within like 1 month. So are they really real numbers anymore?
Right.
And, I think we're going to have to start to readjust what is realistic in terms of, is 20-year flood really going to happen every 5 years now?
Right.
But, I think time will tell. We're going to have more, I'm sure we're going to start gathering more statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Commissioner Desai. Commissioner Gale. Commissioner Desai, you have your hand up?
Yes, Commissioner. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Just clarification, I see there's 20 million for City of Hartford's Main Street project. So does any of the activity relate to storm water, or that's just streetscape and beautification project, like, sidewalks and all that kind of stuff? Thank you.
You have a question?
I do have a question, but I don't know if somebody wanted to answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It is a beautification project, and we'll be coordinating with the city whether it comes to sidewalks or catch basin covers, our new catch basin covers. So it is a beautification project, Commissioner.
Yes.
Mr. Torres.
Just two quick, one question, just when we talk about the drain upsizing, are we talking about pipes? Is that from 18 to 21 and 24 to 26? Okay. The other comment that I have is I think that this issue continues to come up all the time about whose responsibility is to do what in terms of the flooding issue. Now, and I understand, that we're under a mandate, consent decree and so on, that to separate the water and clean it up and that sort of thing. But, is there anything anywhere that kind of compels us to do anything beyond the separation of the stormwater, through our system, that would help help the flood commission deal with its responsibility, because you got two entities here, and somehow it's like something is not clicking here. And I think
can I ask, we'll take a quick answer to that question if there is one, but we're getting a little off track as dealing with the Windsor Street sewer project, so.
Yeah, if I may, I've said this 1,000 times, Commissioner, our mandate is driven by DEEP and EPA, right? And our service to our customers. And our goal is, and we've proven to DEEP, which we're very happy. We have a much better relationship with DEEP than we had years ago with the old administration. But we have proven to DEEP and to EPA that the community benefit should be the first priority, not the river. And we've proven that, and they agreed with us, and that's why they gave us $170 million. So our goal is to get the stormwater out of our sewer system, dump it in the river. That's a whole other problem. Now you got a flooding problem, not a sewer problem. But getting that stormwater out of that sewer pipe stops the residents and the businesses from having sewer in their basement and sewer in the river. Now, the stormwater problem is a whole other problem. You solve one problem, you create another problem. But this flooding problem exists right now. It's just that it's mixing with our sewer system as well.
All right. Yes?
Thank you.
On topic, please?
On topic. Yes, Mr. Chair, on topic with this. I would just like to see for an analysis like we're doing for Windsor Street, what Commissioner Drake brought up. Are there known properties that no matter what we do, because of their location, will always have problems? And should we be solving those by purchasing them and at least doing a, return on investment as far as how, if we do something differently rather than spend millions of dollars in a system that might only last us 10 years for a 10-year flood, can we put into the mix, instead of building the infrastructure, but actually adding to the property mix, and what we can do on a green infrastructure basis that might be able to help us, or at least avoid those properties being developed, because we know that there's going to be flooding in those areas. And I know you've gone there before, Scott. And the last thing is, I just wanted to bring up, I would hope that somebody at MDC, or I would ask that somebody at MDC look at the resilience improvement plan that CTDOT is trying to do. I'm not sure if funding with this current administration has been pulled from that, but it's with Federal Highway, and I think this is a clear project area that they're looking at as far as resilience issues in our cities and in our areas. So I would hope that somebody would look into that funding.
I'm sorry. No, okay. I'm sorry.
All right, without objection, we're going to move on to number 14 on the agenda, discussion potential action, RFP for audit services. And who have I got? Scott?
Kelly?
Kelly.
Oh, no. Jonathan? Who's got the other?
Who's on first?
Yeah, I think, and I'm Jonathan, I'm not sure if you're prepared for this, but one thing that in conversations that we had over the audit this year. Go ahead. Thank you. The one thing that we had conversations over the last month relative to the previous audit and the process of hiring a new auditor John Myrtle actually found something that we're not sure of what the rules are. And I sent an email out to everyone to make them aware that we're going through the process and we're going to bring this issue to the board for the board to decide. So I'm going to defer that to Chris or John on what we found in the regulations, the ordinances in terms of who's responsible to actually be the appointing authority of the auditor. We previously always thought it was the Board of Finance. And John, you want to?
If I might, John, it's Chris Stone, District Council. It's actually not in our ordinances. It's in our charter, which provides that the district board shall cause an audit to be performed on the district's records on an annual basis. That's the charter provision. It doesn't mean and so that's what the resolution tonight is, just to confirm that or affirm that. That doesn't mean that the district board at any given time can't delegate that responsibility to another subcommittee within the MDC. And I think that they've done that arguably informally over the past several years, and delegating that to the Board of Finance, which is fine. But if they're going to do it for the next year or whenever, they should make that a conscious delegation rather than just do it by default. That's all. And so this is merely clarifying and affirming what the charter provides in terms of who's oversees the audit process. And then if you as a board want to delegate that to some other committee within the MDC, you're more than empowered to do that.
And specifically the selection, right?
And the selection,
and
that's
the
everything.
Final selection.
That's all in.
Correct.
Who's the auditor is, the process, ultimately who's chosen to be the auditor, but also in overseeing the process. And quite frankly, over the past several years, arguably by default, it's the Board of Finance has been the lead, and they've done a great job. But and that may continue, but that'll be up to you, not up to inaction. You by taking affirmative action to do that.
Anything to add on that? Does everyone understand what the purpose of the resolution is?
Yes.
Are there any? Well, first, Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Well, that's all right. We're going to put a motion on the floor before we have discussion. Was there a second?
Second.
All right. Commissioner Salemi, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question has to do with the charter, and maybe our district council can talk about this as well. But there's only one committee that's established by the charter that has a direct responsibility with respect to the budget and so forth, and finances in the MDC. And that committee has 5 people who are appointed as citizen members, and they represent only the ratepayers. They're not there as commissioners. They don't represent the MDC, and they're not representing anybody but the ratepayers themselves, and that was designed that way. This is not my interpretation. This is an understanding that come from all the years that I've been with the MDC, and I'm sure Commissioner DeBella is aware of this as well. That to just say that we can just refer this to any committee, I think is a mistake. I think the Board of Finance clearly has a responsibility to do this. Now, if we're talking about the selection process for an auditor, that's one thing. But if we're talking about the actual activities of the auditor, which I read in what you presented in scope of services, I think that those presentations are to be made to the Board of Finance. I think the Board of Finance basically has the members whose responsibility it is to question, the proposal of the budget on behalf of the ratepayers. But perhaps somebody can read what the responsibilities of a citizen member are. There are 5 citizen members and only 4 commissioners on the Board of Finance. So they have a majority, which says something in addition to that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Maybe District Council can respond to that.
Thank you. Chris, any response?
I don't disagree with him, obviously, in terms of the makeup of the Board of Finance and the importance of the Board of Finance and the representation of the Board of Finance being a 5-4 split between citizen members and members of the board. That's all accurate. All I'm saying is that in terms of the annual audit, and by the way, there are functions of the Board of Finance that are set forth in the charter and in the bylaws as well. But one of those functions that's assigned to the district board is the overseeing and the implementation of a process to have an annual audit. They can assign that, and Commissioner Salemi's right. Probably the most, if it's going to be assigned or delegated, the most reasonable place to send it is to the Board of Finance. I'm not suggesting that the charter says that. That's why I said it could be assigned to any committee, but logically and rationally, the assignment would go, if it's going to be delegated, to the Board of Finance. So there's no disagreement there. So I don't know. I'm just speaking as to what the charter provides, and if you want to change the charter, obviously there's a process to do that as well. Just go to the legislature, but that's a whole nother effort.
Okay. If I may, and everyone here who has been involved in their respective town governments knows when you open up a charter revision and things get squirrely, to say the least, or they can. My wish would be that, and I agree with what Commissioner Salemi said as well, that we approve the resolution. The charter says it comes to this body. That does not mean that we cannot then make a motion to refer the process of the 2025 audit, including the RFP and hiring, to Finance Committee. But it has to go through the board to get to the Finance Committee. And that's what the charter says. So just all I'm asking is we just follow the rules and make it happen in the correct sequence. Any other questions regarding the resolution? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed?
And I
Motion-
abstain, Mr. Chairman, I'll abstain. Commissioner Salemi.
Okay, one abstention. Motion carries. Chair would entertain a motion to delegate this task to the Finance Committee for 2025.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Salemi, how did you vote?
Thank you. I didn't get my mute button off fast enough, but I voted yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. The next is going to be a little bit confusing because items 15 through 19 on the agenda all are going to require executive session. I've talked to our counsel. Nothing precludes us from making one motion to go into executive session for all 5 of those items so listed on your agenda. My first question before I accept the motion is, some of us have been at this table for moving on 3 hours. Does anybody want to take a 3, 4, 5 minute break and then come back and we'll take a motion to go into executive session? Any objection to that? All right, we're in recess for 5 minutes. Back at 20 after 7.
The map's up in 1930s, and he said, nothing should be built here.
That's right. Started when I was young.
All right. Everybody, please take your seats. Back in regular session. Chair's going to entertain a motion to go into executive session for items 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. However, in order of sequence, because of conflicts of interest or folks who can deal with the topic we would like to take up first and then they can leave, we'd like to do in this order. Number 19, 15, 16, 18, and 17.
John, we don't need executive order for, executive session for 19.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Why?
we're gonna do it anyway. Leave it on there.
It's not a claim.
It is a claim.
What are you
Alright.
talking about?
Moved.
So,
It's
second,
Bristol South.
second.
What?
Buckingham Garage is not a claim?
We're talking about the project. We're not talking about the claim, right? You're gonna be talking about the claim you're gonna be talking about the claim in your executive session. We're talking about the project.
Pending claims relating to Marriott Hotel and Buckingham Street Garage. That's in 19.
It's gonna move in. I have a motion and a second to move those 5 in with the sequence that I mentioned. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carried. And
For the record, all these involve pending claims, which is why they're going to the executive session.
And who do we need to not be here?
We just need Jason Waterbury and Chris Levesque.
Yeah, can you close the
And
doors,
John.
Chris?
And John, obviously.
All right. Sorry. For Commissioners on the WebEx, I'm going to move you over to a different executive session, breakout session, so you should get moved over automatically.
Thanks. Hey, John, is there anything we need to do?
Nope, this should work without you having to do anything.
Okay, thank you.
All right, first up, oh, I'm sorry.
It's the Gale there. What are we gonna do with this? Sharon Lewis, we're gonna own our house.
Mics are live.
All right.
We will own our house.
Chair will entertain a motion to go back into regular session.
moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Can't wait. Opposed, motion carried. All right. Without objection, I would like to handle number 17 first, so that you can step out while we handle that one, and then you can come back. All right, on the floors, possible action regarding pending litigation at 2895 Main Street. Is there a motion?
Move to accept the recommendation as before us.
Second.
Yeah, this is the one that we just, and the recommendation is? 50. Recommendation is to pay the 50.
Correct.
Right, okay.
The resolve that you have in front of you.
Right, oh, yeah, sorry.
Discussion?
Chairman, I request a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gale?
Yeah, just one bit of discussion. I hear the comments and the concern about setting a precedent, and it really is. I mean, certainly people will know that the MDC got sued and people will know that the MDC settled the case. But a settlement can't be used by somebody else. It can't be introduced into evidence in another case. Settlements are specifically protected at law for just that reason, because our judicial system wants to encourage settlements. So I just want to kind of dispel a little bit the concern that this is going to open up floodgates. It's no different than Hartford Hospital settling every case that comes to it, and the state of Connecticut settling cases that come to them. There's a point when you settle a case. Apparently, there's been a deal worked out. It sounds to me like it's a reasonable deal. I mean, I'm not crazy about paying the money, but for us to get out of it for $50,000 when we have exposure well beyond that, as Chris mentioned, seems reasonable enough. So I made the motion. I support it.
Mr. Chairman, I withdraw the roll call vote if I
Thank you,
can.
Dominic.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed?
No.
No. I have Commissioners Payne, Buell, and Avedisian as no.
Drake, no.
Sorry, was Avedisian as well? Drake and Avedisian? Okay. So I have Commissioners Payne, Buell, Avedisian, and Drake as no. Was there anyone else? Was there anyone else online that voted no? Okay. Thank you. The motion passes.
John, you want to go grab, he's still in the building?
Two chances to escape.
Do
you want to do 16, 8, sorry, 15, 16, 18 as one motion?
Yeah, we can, I think we can do that.
Move to accept 15, 16, and 17.
No, 15, 16, and 18.
15, 16,
Nice
and
try,
18.
John.
Second.
Discussion? For a second, I'd like to get everybody on the hook.
Second.
Is there anybody left on that?
Yes.
Are they really there?
Got to find James Wolfe.
Chairman,
That's what I was gonna say. Oh, my God.
You go to Starbucks? What?
Get my steps in, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, we lost John.
We lost Pisano. What-
Oh, my God.
For you.
Motion's been made and seconded, James.
What's that?
Did you see John out there looking for you, or what?
Yeah, he went to. I think he went to use the facilities.
Oh, John Pisano's, oh, gosh, I thought you were talking about Myrtle.
Oh.
We lost, we
All
gained.
right, we got a motion on the floor to accept the resolutions for 15, 16, and 18. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. What's left? 19. All right.
All right, on 19, Mr. Chair.
Is there a motion?
I would like to make a motion that, given that the Attorney General and the Office of Management and Budget have apparently refused to sign the South Bushnell Agreement as accepted by this body and proposed by this body, which includes paragraph 12 as written, I move that we authorize district staff to renegotiate the agreement by reworking and/or removing paragraph 12. If that will result in an agreement with the state.
Second.
Could I get clarification from the maker of the motion? You've got reworking or removing. Which is it?
Remove him.
I would authorize staff to do whatever works out best for the MDC. If they can rework 12, that's great. If at the end of the day they have to remove it completely to move forward with the deal, then this motion gives them the full authority.
Let's take it our authority.
Mr. Chair, if I
I
could.
move to open the door, or close the door, or close the door. I'm not comfortable with your motion, John.
All right, let me try it again.
Mr. Chair, if I can offer a
No,
just a
John,
Friendly amendment?
there's no amendment because there's no motion.
How about to revise paragraph 12 to up to and including removing it?
No. You want to try, Commissioner Bandyke?
Yes, I would like to ask the maker of the motion if we could please give ourselves 30 days. I would like to look into more information on this
No motion
before we
on the
make a
floor,
decision.
so-
So if he could just not make a motion on this, I would like 30 days and we can bring this back in October. And I think that gives general counsel a little bit of time to think creatively as well.
Well,
General Counsel already gave his opinion on it.
Yeah.
You were here, right? He gave his opinion on it. He did not recommend it. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we not accept, well,
Removal of 12.
the removal of 12.
Okay, that's a simple motion.
Okay, point of order, Mr. Chair. Whether you didn't accept my motion or not, I did make it, it did get seconded. So
I
it
did
either
not-
has to
I
get
did not-
voted on or I have to
I did not
withdraw
hear
or
a
something.
second.
There was a second.
I did second it.
Gail's got to speak up. Got a motion from himself.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, and the motion is to request that the resolution be reworked, reworded, or eliminated. Very open-ended question and motion, but it is on the floor. Is there discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed?
No.
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 I have Commissioners Payne and Avedisian as no, and I heard Gentile, Torini,
Desai.
Desai. Was there anyone else online that voted no?
I'm abstaining.
And the chair will, for my first vote as chair, vote no.
So I have for no's Payne, Payne, Avedisian, Gentile, Torini, Desai, Curry.
No. Buell
And
too.
Buell is no.
Adel, no.
Adel, no. For the no's, I have Payne, Avedisian, Gentile, Torini, Desai, Curry, Buell, Adel, with Commissioner Mandyke abstaining. The motion passes 9-8.
Before I declare the motion passed or failed, is there anyone who would like to change their vote? Hearing none, motion passes.
Jesus Christ.
All right, number 20, opportunity for general public. Number 21, commissioner request for consideration. 22, we've completed our agenda. Motion is adjourned. Meeting is adjourned.
Nobody's paying attention.